of former Congresswoman and squad member Cori has been charged with wire fraud related to small business loans he received during the pandemic. Federal prosecutors say Courtney Merritt's filed fraudulent applications for COVID relief, securing tens of thousands of dollars in government aid. This is a copy of the indictment filed in D.C. federal court. According to the DOJ, Bush's husband filed 2 Paycheck Protection Program loan applications in 2020 and 2021 for COVID emergency funds that were being offered to struggling small businesses. Here's some of the allegations made inside the indictment. Prosecutors say Merritt owned a moving business called Vetted Couriers and applied for an economic injury disaster loan with the SBA, using false representations with the intent to defraud. He received $8,500 for that loan on July 7th, 2020. The day after receiving the loan, another loan application was submitted, but under a different business name, Courtney Merritt, named after himself. Prosecutors say that loan was rejected because it was nearly identical to his previous application, according to the indictment. Prosecutors say after the second loan was rejected, Merritt filed for a PPP loan in 2021 for the Courtney Merritt's business and claimed it generated $128,000 in gross income and employed 10 people, something the DOJ says was falsified. Prosecutors say Merritt misrepresented the number of employees and forged supporting documents in order to receive a higher loan amount. This led to a payout of nearly $21,000, which was forgiven by the government when Merritt claimed he spent the money on payroll costs. Under purpose of the scheme to defraud in the indictment, prosecutors say Merritt would attempt to file and cause the filing of materially false applications and requests for an EIDL and PPP funds, which he was not entitled to receive, and to spend the fraudulently obtained money totaling over $20,832 for his own benefit and enjoyment. Lawyers for Merritt denied the allegations, releasing a statement saying Mr. Merritt intends to plead not guilty to the charges. As with any indictment, this is only the government's version of the story. We look forward to litigating this case in federal court in Washington, D.C. Merritt's wife, former Missouri Congresswoman Cori served 2 terms representing St. Louis before losing her seat in the 2024 Democratic primary. She is not named in the indictment and has not been accused of any wrongdoing. However, Bush previously faced controversy for paying her husband thousands of dollars from her campaign funds to work as her security guard. She paid Merritt $60,000 in 2022 and $42,500 in 2023, according to FEC filings. The Office of Congressional Ethics dismissed a complaint alleging it was a federal election law violation. Last year, it was first reported by the Washington Post the DOJ was investigating Bush over the campaign funds spent on private security. The scope of that investigation is not publicly known and has not resulted in any charges. Thanks for watching.
Happy Sunday. Right quick. If y'all think that PPP shit went away, you're a fool. You better stay woke on that shit too. And you saw the number. They're going to start from 20,832 and then just work their way back. Because they know you're maxed out. You said you had 10 employees to get 20,832. So that representative is in hot shit. Her and her husband. God damn. No. If I'd have seen them going that way, that'd have been a solid no. I'm just saying, if you did the PPP shit, that's your ass. You know, you should have talked to somebody that actually owned a business or was a contractor before y'all jumped out the window and got that fast cash. I made a video way back, right after Kamala Lawson said, after Donald Trump won, prison stock went up 30%. Okay? It's shit at work bigger than us, I keep telling y'all. And stay woke. Fuck woke. Be full on aware of your fucking surroundings, okay? All right, thank you, and you're welcome.
Breaking news out of Washington, where former Congresswoman Cori Bush's husband has been indicted on 2 federal counts of wire fraud. According to court documents, Courtney Merritt filed fraudulent applications seeking pandemic funds, one with the Small Business Administration in 2020 and another 2021 under the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. Combined, the DOJ says those applications allowed him to collect more than $20,000 in government funds. U.S. Attorney and former Missouri Republican Party Chair Ed Martin announced the indictment.
Remember her, Cori Bush, the former representative of Missouri up until this last January? Well, the Department of Justice just charged her husband with wire fraud for fraudulently taking $20,000 in COVID relief. And this development comes following a separate investigation where Bush is accused of paying her husband $150,000 to serve as her bodyguard, which I guess we should have known from this.
I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend $10 more on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social.
Oh, that's right. The Congresswoman who was paying for security and protection out of her own pocket, but wanted to defund the police for her constituents' protection. Totally makes sense. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
Why y'all make us look bad? Why can't we have a bunch of black people that's like flourishing, that people can look to and say, man, you are a role model?
Representative Cori Bush continues payments to her husband for security services. Recent Federal Election Commission filings indicate Bush's campaign paid her husband, Courtney Merritt, $15,000 this year. Last year, she paid him $135,000 since January of 2022.
California Congresswoman Maxine Waters used campaign funds to pay her daughter big bucks during the 2022 election cycle. Money that came from so-called slate mailing. She paid her daughter exactly $192,000, over $300, during the 2022 election cycle.
About the corrupt politicians. Cori Bush is one, and old hag Maxine Waters. She literally looked like James Brown. All right, let's play the news clip because apparently Maxine Waters has been swindling and chucking and jiving to get money to her own daughter. Roll the clip.
California Congresswoman Maxine Waters used campaign funds to pay her daughter big bucks during the 2022 election cycle. Money that came from so-called slate mailings. Basically, it's a pamphlet from the Waters campaign that features other down-ballot candidates. They do it in California, not really in the rest of the country, if you don't know what that is. She paid her daughter exactly $192,000, over $300, during the 2022 election cycle. And then she's receiving total since 2004, $1.2 million. So look, it's not illegal. And the data comes from the Federal Election Commission. So to be clear, she's not breaking a law, but you could really frown on this and say, how much does $1.2 million in campaign donations need to go to her daughter?
Did the donors know where the money was going?
Well, they do now.
Now they know, but
do they not care?
But Maxine Waters has always been this corrupt. I don't even think her mansion is in her relatively poor district.
So she is definitely corrupt. And these people know because they make the laws, right? They're in Congress. They know what the law is. They know what the law isn't. They know what laws they put on the books, and they know what laws they can skirt. And they literally put their family members on payroll and pay them exorbitant amounts of money. We know they do it. They all do it, but they're talking about the oligarchy, and they're talking about nepotism, and they're talking about white privilege. And these fools be lining the pockets of their family members to work on their campaign. Patrice Cullors and them all did the same thing. They paying their baby daddies to be security guards and all kind of stuff. You look at the amount of money, you're like, you paid him $900,000? What kind of security is he doing? What's he doing? He working on Team Jesus? They can, you know what I mean? Heal people of their sins and all kind of other stuff. What kind of security team you got? $1 million for some security. And you got James Brown? Look at Maxine. Maxine! R.I.P. James Brown. Look at Maxine. Don't she look like James Brown? Sweating on that campaign trail, hoodwinking all these colored folks to vote for her year after year after year after year, and she's delivered nothing after nothing, sweating on that campaign trail, hoodwinking all these colored folks to vote for her year after year after year after year, and she's delivered nothing after nothing after nothing after nothing, but her daughter made a meal. Maxine Waters, what is Maxine Waters' net worth? That's what I want to find out. It won't take me number 2 seconds. But she worth $10 million. Think about it. She's not a senator. She's a House of Representatives. So she only make about $175,000 a year. And she's probably been in there for 20 years. How does your net worth get to $10 million? That's one thing people say, Brandon, you need to run for office. And I'm like, dude, I will take a massive haircut because I'm not a corrupt politician. I will take a massive haircut and have to lay off everybody in here if I ran for office. Now, if I was a crook, I'm going to triple and quadruple the money that I make if I was a crook. And that's what these people do. That's why I always wonder, I'm like, dang, that person got a law degree. That person's doing this. Why are they in the Senate? So like, why are they running for Congress? Why would they want to be a politician when they make a tremendous amount of money? Then you look up and you say, oh, they are making a tremendous amount of money. They do know how to inside a trade. They do know when this is going to happen, when this is going to happen. They move money here, here, and here. They do let people do and give them gifts so they can lobby on their behalf. These people do have a money-making strategy. They're not a public servant just making the bare minimum off your tax dollars. They're top 1% earners that then leverage that money and flip it into making more and more money. Listen, I want you to pay very close attention. If Brandon Tatum ever runs for office, you know I did it because my heart is in it. It's not about making money. But if you ever see Brandon Tatum run for office with no chance of winning, I want you to call me out immediately. Call me out, put it on the tape, put it on the blog, make a YouTube video, go viral. Here's the part where people can really make some money off of it, and that's what their goal is. Same thing with that other idiot. What's his name, Nick? Major Williams, the most fraudulent politician to ever exist in California on the Republican side. The dude ran for mayor of Pasadena, didn't get hardly no votes, and I supported him up until that point. And then when he's like, I'm running for governor. Hold on, bruh. You didn't even get no votes in Pasadena. You finna run for governor of the state of California, the biggest economy in the United States of America, the most populated state, not unless New York is more populated, but possibly the more populated state. Hey, what experience do you have? You can't even run a successful campaign without everybody leaving you. Right, Nick? Nick left him. That's how we got Nick. So thank God for the scam artist, because then we got Nick. But you know what he do? They get all these white people to feel sorry for him because he's a black man trying to be a Republican. They give him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and what did he do? He take it, he swindle it to do merch. He swindled a little something here and there to pay himself a salary. He swindled a little something here and here to build his personal persona, just like pastors do. They build their personal persona, and then they go sell books and courses and do this and this when their personality is this big. They know.
Karma's a bitch, she bites back. Better prepare, 'cause she won't hold back.
We the people are sick of this shit. We the people are tired of the lies. We the people want answers. We the people are pissed off. We the people